Get ready, because the African Nations Championship, or CAN, is kicking off with an absolute bang. The energy around this tournament is just electric, and we are diving headfirst into one of the most anticipated opening matches you could ask for. Today, we're taking a deep dive into that big Group A clash. It's the co-host Kenya, the Harambee Stars, against the formidable two-time champions, DR Congo as Leopards. Yeah, we've gone through a whole stack of match previews, betting guides, all the latest team news, and honestly, it's a treasure trove of fascinating details.
Absolutely. And our mission here really is to unpack all those key facts, the tactical insights, maybe some surprising narratives too. We want to give you the edge so you're not just informed, but, genuinely ready and excited for kickoff.
Okay, so let's set the stage a bit. The 2024 African Nations Championship, it's a massive event, co-hosted by Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, and it runs from August 2nd all the way to August 30th, 2025. But this specific showdown we're zoning in on, that's happening Sunday, August 3rd, 2025.
Right. And the timing and venue are pretty precise for this one. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. local Nairobi time. That's noon GMT. And it's all going down at the Moi International Sports Center, which most people know it's Kasarani Stadium, right there in Nairobi. Huge place, seats about 55,000 people. And what's really key here, I think, is that all of Kenya's Group A matches are going to be played right there, on home turf.
That home crowd factor. Immense.
It's huge. It's not just a venue. It could be a fortress for them, or, the weight of expectation could be tough. We'll see.
Definitely. And if you're wondering how to catch the action, the broadcast availability is pretty broad. Locally, you can find it on SuperSport, specifically the Maximo channel, KBC, and Azam TV in Kenya. Internationally, look for it on beIN Sports, beIN Connect, Canal Plus Sci, and RTNC in DR Congo, among others. So plenty of ways to tune in.
It's fascinating when you look at the history or lack thereof in this specific competition. This is actually the first ever CHAN match between Kenya and DR Congo.
Really? First time?
First time in CHAN, yeah. But if we zoom out to their full international games, DR Congo actually holds the edge. They've got 4 wins to Kenya's 3, and there have been 2 draws. Their last meeting, that was back in 2019, ended 1-1.
1-1 last time. So that suggests this debut CHAN clash could be incredibly tight then.
It really could. That past parity definitely hints at it.
Okay, that's a really interesting point about their head-to-head. But what about this group? You mentioned Group A. It's not just Kenya and DR Congo. You've got Morocco, Angola, and Zambia in there too. That sounds brutal.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely a trial by fire, especially for Kenya on their debut. This group is incredibly competitive. It means both teams really need to hit the ground running. Every single point, especially in these opening games, is going to be vital.
No kidding. Okay, so let's get into the teams then. Starting with the hosts, Kenya, the Harambee Stars. Historic moment for them, right? Their very first appearance at a CHAN. They're the 33rd nation ever to participate.
Yeah, big moment. And their coach, Benny McCarthy, he brings this really intriguing personal history to this specific match. Bit of irony here, he actually scored twice against DR Congo for South Africa, back in the '98 AFCON semifinal.
Oh, okay. Small world.
Isn't it? And as hosts, Kenya's got this unique ambition. I mean, only Morocco, back in 2018, has ever won CHAN on home soil. That's a huge target. And if that wasn't enough motivation, the Kenyan government has thrown in a promise of a KSH 1 million cash bonus per win for each player.
Whoa, hang on. $1 million shillings per player per win. That's a massive incentive.
Huge.
Does that kind of money, though, does it always help? Or could it add, too much pressure, especially first time out at home?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's probably a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, yeah, massive motivator, fantastic reward. But on the other hand, for a team making their debut, big stage home crowd, that kind of expectation, it can add immense psychological weight. How they channel that energy, manage those nerves, that's going to be key.
Makes sense. And speaking of the squad, I know there were some late changes, injuries and withdrawals. Mohamed Bajaber, Swalapamba, Brian Musa were out, replaced by Brian Nxira, Crispin Arambo, and Edward Omondi. But the squad itself, it seems like a really interesting mix. You've got experience, like the captain Aboud Omar, Masoud Juma, who can score goals, but also some emerging talents coming through.
Exactly. And for Kenya, there are maybe 3 players you really want to keep an eye on. First, Austin Odhiambo. He's the creative number 10, was Gor Mahia's MVP last season. He'll be vital for controlling the tempo, unlocking that defense. Then Brian Nxira, one of those late additions. He brings a really important technical balance to the midfield, good composure, passing range, and of course, Masoud Juma. He's a proven goal scorer. They'll absolutely be looking to him to find the net. He's crucial for their attack. tactically. Expect Kenya to set up a pretty structured midfield. They'll want to counter DR Congo's possession game, probably look for quick breaks, opportunistic counterattacks.
Okay, interesting. Now let's flip the script. Let's talk about DR Congo, Liga La Pars.
Yeah.
Their Chan pedigree is, well, it's seriously impressive. Two-time champions, 2009, 2016. One of the most successful teams in the tournament's history.
Oh, absolutely. Their history in Chan is formidable. This is their 7th appearance, which is the most of any team. And they have this incredible opening game record. 4 wins, 1 draw, only 1 loss. And get this, 5 clean sheets in those 6 openers.
5 clean sheets and 6 openers.
Wow, impressive, right? But here's the twist. If you connect that history to their recent form, it's less stellar. They're actually on a 4-match winless run coming into this. 2 draws, 2 losses. And they didn't score or win at all in the 2022 finals.
Huh. That's quite a contrast, isn't it? History says dominance, recent form says struggling a bit. How much does that recent winless streak actually, chip away at their confidence, given that amazing opening game record?
It's a definite factor. They're walking that fine line. The history gives them the belief, the pedigree, but the recent form, that can create a mental hurdle, no doubt. It'll be a test for their experienced players. Can they shake off that slump and rediscover that opening game magic?
Yeah, fascinating dynamic. And talk about adding spice. The pre-match drama, DR Congo's coach, Odhiambo Ngoma, apparently accused Kenya of sending spies to watch their training. Seriously. That sounds like something out of a movie plot.
Right. It certainly adds a spicy subplot to the whole thing. Though Ngama was quick to say his squad's conditioning and readiness weren't affected. He said they had thorough preparation in Tanzania, so he's clearly trying to keep the focus on the pitch, despite those, let's say, distractions. Tactically, what we expect from DR Congo is they'll rely on their experienced domestic-based stars. They'll aim to impose their game possession-heavy, disciplined right from the start. The coach might deploy a more conservative shape early on. Focus on controlling the ball, building patiently. Key players for them. Definitely watch Oscar Kabwit from TP Mazembe. He's a versatile forward, got pace, strength, can cause real problems. Then Hedok Inonga Baka, if he's fit. Veteran center back, brings aerial strength, leadership at the back, crucial organizer. And in midfield, keep an eye on the anchors. Mbaya Bissoumana and Mika Miche, they'll be vital for keeping possession, shielding that defense, dictating the pace.
Okay, this is shaping up to be a really intriguing tactical chess match.
Yeah.
So let's try and picture how this might actually look on the pitch. What are we thinking for anticipated tactical setups, projected starting 11s?
Yeah, let's break that down. For Kenya, we're likely looking at a 4-3-3 formation. That suggests they'll aim for good midfield control, but also width in attack, maybe getting those fullbacks involved going forward. So Farouk Shikalo, probably in goal. Back 4, Captain Aboud Omar, Alfonso Mija, Sylvester Owino, Mike Kibwaj, that seems likely. Midfield 3, Austin Odhiambo is that creative spark, Alpha Onyango holding things down, and then maybe Brian Musso or Marvin Nebwire alongside them. And up front, Masoud Juma leading the line, supported by Ryan Ogum and perhaps Boniface Muchiri or Austin Odongo out wide. And remember, those late additions, Crispino Rambo, Brian Mitchera, Edward Amondi, there are options too, especially if injuries pop up.
Right, okay. And for DR Congo, what's their likely shape?
For DR Congo, probably a 4-2-3-1 or maybe a 4-3-3. The 4-2-3-1, that often points towards a strong double pivot in midfield, maybe being a bit more solid defensively before springing attacks. So Jackson Lunanga in goal. Defense could feature Henakinonga Baka, Gadbanin Ndongala, Papi Kokulea, Ozean Dombele, that midfield double pivot we mentioned, Mbi Bissoumana and Mika Miche. They'll be key. Then maybe Jean-Benoit Tukumane or Linda Matange in that attacking midfield role just behind the striker. And leading the attack, likely Oscar Kabwit, with flank support from players like James Mboma, Shoso Kazima, or Tony Talasi.
Got it. Okay, and for folks who like to look at the betting side of things, the odds tell an interesting story here. DR Congo are slight favorites to win, odds around 2.0, which implies something like a 48% chance. A draw is hovering around 2.88, and a Kenya win is pretty close, around 2.85. So the bookies see it as tight.
Exactly. And the analyst estimates dig a bit deeper. They put Kenya's win probability lower, maybe around 18.6%. A draw comes in quite high, around 38.5%. And DR Congo's win chance is about 42.9%. So yes, DR Congo favored, but those numbers really highlight that a draw is seen as a very strong possibility. It underlines how tight this opener is expected to be.
Yeah, that draw percentage is quite high. And other popular bets, like correct scores. I saw 1-1 is around plus 475 odds, which, if you're not familiar, basically means a $100 bet wins $475 if it finishes exactly 1-1. Scores like 0-1 or 1-0 or maybe plus 525 to plus 550. And interestingly, both teams to score, BTTS, is actually favored. Odds around plus 113.
Which suggests, yeah, the expectation is that both sides will find the net.
Yeah.
So putting it all together, the analysts' verdicts, multiple predictions lean towards a DR Congo win, but often, as you said, with both teams scoring, I saw one specific forecast for a 2-1 DR Congo win explicitly saying they expect Kenya to score even if they lose. The real takeaway seems to be expect goals, probably from both sides.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with that home crowd factor for Kenya.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's paint a few pictures of how the game might unfold. If Kenya does manage to grab control of the midfield early on, maybe we see goals from set pieces or those fast counterattacks you mentioned.
That's certainly a possibility. Quick transitions could be their route.
But if DR Congo imposes their possession game, dominates the ball, that sustained pressure could lead to a narrow win for them, right? Like a 1-0, maybe 2-1.
Yes, grinding out a result through control is definitely in their playbook.
And then there's the third option, a really balanced opening, neither side really dominating. That could easily end up as a tight draw, maybe 0-0, maybe that 1-1 the odds suggest.
Absolutely. So the key things to really watch for during the match itself. First, can Kenya genuinely harness that huge home crowd energy at Kasarani? Will it lift them or crush them? That atmosphere is a real factor. Second, can DR Congo maintain that incredible Shan opener clean sheet record, especially given their recent winless streak? That's history versus current form right there.
Big question.
Huge. Third, the coaches. How does that dynamic play out? Benny McCarthy's, historical insight versus Otis Ngoma's experience and past Chan success. And finally, watch the discipline. Early tournament nerves, high stakes. It could lead to yellow cards, maybe even a red. Mental strength, composure under pressure, that might just be the deciding factor in the end.
It really promises to be such a dynamic opening match. You've got the history, the incredibly high stakes, those contrasting team forms we talked about, and some really intriguing tactical battles shaping up. It feels like more than just a game. It's a real statement of intent for both sides right at the start.
Definitely. So as you wait for kickoff, here's something to chew on. You've got DR Congo's formidable history of opening clean sheets. You've got Kenya's debut nerves playing on the biggest stage for them, at home. And you've got those huge cash bonuses promised to the Harambee Stars. So the final thought is this. Will that immense psychological pressure of playing at home be a powerful boost for Kenya? Or could it actually become a crushing burden, especially in their quest to get that vital early goal against a team that historically doesn't concede in openers? Something to ponder.